Agreement on Syria's chemical disarmament was reached in Geneva after 3 days of tense talks. RT's Polly Boyko has been following the negotiations for us there and joins us now live. Polly, nice to see you. So tell us more about what's been agreed there and the conditions under which the plan will be implemented.
Well, the press conference kicked off rather unconventionally here in Geneva, with Sergei Lavrov strolling into the conference room, sitting in the middle of the room amidst the reporters, talking about the weather, clearly waiting for John Kerry to show up. But after 3 days of tense negotiations, a deal has finally been struck. We know that Damascus has got 1 week within which to provide information on all of its chemical weapons facilities. Thereafter, they have to provide access to chemical weapons inspectors from the Organisation for Prevention of Chemical Weapons. They have to provide unfettered access to them, to all these chemical weapons facilities. Now, in terms of a time frame, we know that the initial on-site inspections must be completed by November, and finally, the complete elimination of chemical weapons in Syria has to be completed by the first half of 2014. But crucially, if Syria fails to comply with any part of the deal that has been hammered out here in Geneva, well then Chapter 7 of the UN Security Council would be applicable. We can take a listen to John Kerry and Sergei Lavrov talking about that in a little bit more detail right now.
We expect full compliance with the requirements the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons imposes. And if they are not met, or if somebody uses chemical weapons, the UN Security Council will take measures in accordance with Chapter 7 of the UN Charter. Of course, this does not mean that every time a violation is reported, actions will be taken automatically. We'll first have to verify and review such reports thoroughly, because there are a lot of fabrications and lies surrounding this issue, and we have to be very careful.
Massive interest.
Now, in terms of a reaction, we've already heard from the Syrian opposition that they reportedly have rejected this deal that has been struck in Geneva. And speaking during the questions, John Kerry, rather interestingly, made an admission that it could have been the Syrian rebels, that they could have got hold of and used chemical weapons in Syria, which is unprecedented for somebody from the US side to make that admission, and gives us a bit of an indication about the nature of the Syrian opposition. Now, another point that Sergei Lavrov made a little bit earlier was that the video that came out yesterday in the middle of these very tense negotiations of Ban Ki-moon reportedly saying that Bashar al-Assad is guilty of crimes against humanity, well, that was a video montage and that was taken out of context. But both John Kerry and Sergei Lavrov very clearly extremely pleased that they have been managed to set aside their differences, strike a deal here. They both spoke of how well the US and Russia can work together when there is a political will. They said that they look forward to organising a Geneva II conference in October, and not just working on eliminating Syria's chemical weapons, but also working towards a broader route for peace for Syria. So a collective sigh of relief here in Geneva that for the moment that a US strike against Syria has been averted.
All right, RT's Polly Boyko live from Geneva. Polly, thank you very much indeed for that. We appreciate it.